Good Thursday afternoon, guys. Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille show. It's good to be with you. It is Thursday, September 24th. Yes, Thursday, September 24th. Great day to be alive. Thank you kindly for joining us. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world, on the I Love CVille network. A lot we're going to cover on today's show, including, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the reality we live in here in September 2020. We're going to discuss multiple secret recordings between the recently resigned Charlottesville Fire Chief Andrew Baxter and the soon-to-resign Charlottesville City Manager Dr. Tarron Richardson. Wow, secret recordings. Pretty much who's who, everyone's pointing fingers, everyone's trying to save face. I mean, this is like the CIA meets James Bond meets Politico, and it's happening right here in Charlottesville City Hall. Dr. Richardson has comments about who he was and who he was not getting along with at Charlottesville City Hall. We'll relay that to you, who the outgoing city manager said he frankly could not work alongside. We'll ask, who should the next city manager be, and should Charlottesville City Council hire a city manager that already lives in Charlottesville and understands the nuances of City Hall, or should Charlottesville City Hall spend hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars and waste months of time searching for a city manager through an interim, through a national search with a consulting firm? We'll talk about all those topics today in the I Love CVille show. Albemarle Fire and Rescue gets $1.9 million, much needed money, so they can hire more firefighters to protect our community. Carytown in Richmond, one of my favorite areas of Richmond, Virginia, is losing restaurants left and right, including national brands. That's very concerning. We have that story for you. The University of Virginia Library, Clemons Library, has closed yet again, not permanently, but for a brief time, because students are not following the mask mandate issued by Jim Ryan. How about this question? Remember on yesterday's show how we played the video recordings from Jim Ryan, and Jim Ryan was pretty much outlining the new COVID restrictions he had for the University of Virginia and its students? Part of those restrictions were as follows. Are you ready? Those restrictions were UVA students could not leave Charlottesville during the semester, and UVA students could not welcome outsiders from Charlottesville to grounds. Outsiders, people living outside Charlottesville, to grounds at UVA. So I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, that makes sense. UVA students can't travel to JMU, Virginia Tech, Hampton-Sydney, Longwood to party, to hang out with their friends. Cool, I get it. He's trying to mitigate the spread of COVID. UVA students can't welcome their friends at Hampton-Sydney, at JMU, at Roanoke College, at Virginia Tech, at UNC Chapel Hill, to Charlottesville to party, to mitigate the spread of COVID. Totally fine with that. Totally cool with that. You know what I got to thinking? Here's what I got to thinking. This doesn't apply to the UVA football team. This doesn't apply to the football players that makes the University of Virginia tens of millions of dollars. So we have students, regular average Joe students who learn in a classroom, don't play sports, can't leave grounds, can't visit your friends outside Charlottesville, can't welcome your friends from outside Charlottesville to Charlottesville, except not including the University of Virginia football team, who 100% could visit other colleges outside Charlottesville. Who the UVA football team, who 100% can welcome students from other colleges and jump on them and breathe on them and sweat on them and tackle on them and do what you do when you're playing football. So if I'm bringing this to your attention, because, let's cut to the chase. What is it all about? What is it all about, guys? It's about money. It's about money. And 90 guys and their coaches and their staff make at school a heck of a lot of money, so those guys can go leave in Charlottesville. We'll talk about that on the show. We'll talk about a big-time weekend for college football. We'll outline some of the games that we're watching. The Washington football team heads to the Dog Pound to play the Cleveland Browns. The Browns, a 7-point favorite, 1 o'clock on Sunday on Fox. Olive Garden, New York City. New York City! Get a rope, paste picante sauce. Guys, Olive Garden, Times Square, the top producing Olive Garden in that brand's company, the top producing location in all of Olive Gardens in the world. Get this, it's down 94% from a sales standpoint. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Boys and girls, how will we celebrate Halloween in a COVID-19 landscape? How will we trick or treat with our little boy, our little girl? What will we do to share the joy and enjoy a brief glimpse away from COVID with our friends and family? Well, I'm straight up telling you, the Halloween celebrations are being canceled. Whether it's the trick or treat with the dogs on the downtown mall, whether it's neighborhood association saying, nah, dog, not in our watch, we ain't doing Halloween. I'm going to ask you, the viewing public, to please put some perspective in the feed how we can enjoy Halloween safely. My little boy's 2.5 years old. He's going as Batman. I'm going as Robin. Our wife is Catwoman. And there's nothing I would rather see than my 2.5-year-old in a Batman outfit. Good God, it's melting my heart right now. Going around and saying, trick or treat, trick or treat. We're practicing it now. Welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us. Judah, let's give some love to Interstate Pest and Service Companies, a home's best friend. Interstate Pest and Service Companies is making this community better, a 4-generation strong family business. Interstate Pest and Service Companies. The fabulous entrepreneur Tiffany Smith will join us in about 15 minutes on the show to spotlight the upcoming 30-year anniversary of the Virginia Shop. It's located in Barracks Road Shopping Center. It is my go-to place in a lot of ways for holiday gifts. It has so much to offer, and it's run by a friend. It's run by a Renaissance woman. It's run by a talented actress, someone who's very willing to take chances. Someone who's even willing to get in a full-body peanut outfit and have some fun outside her store on National Peanut Day. To say I respect Tiffany Smith is an understatement. I love this lady. Tiffany Smith knows retail like the Pope knows holy water. She joins us in 14 minutes on the I Love CVille show. The first headline has to come from the CVille Weekly, and I congratulate Ben Hitchcock, the newly minted editor at the CVille Weekly. Despite his very young and inexperienced from an age standpoint, this young man is barely 20. He had a heck of an article in the CVille Weekly chatting with Dr. Richardson, the outgoing city manager, whose term in Charlottesville expires on the 30th of this month, and then interim city manager John Blair takes over. John Blair, previously the city attorney. He's going to help fill the gap. So Ben Hitchcock, the editor at the CVille Weekly, chitter chatters, interviews, conversates, has a nice little one-on-one with the good doctor, Dr. Richardson. And you put that headline on screen, Judah? Wait, you did. Thank you, sir. Wait till you see the pool quote we're about to see you. That's terminology for a heater of a quote. So Judah, why don't you put the pool quote on screen? And I'm going to read verbatim from Ben Hitchcock's story in the CVille Weekly on basically Dr. Richardson's side of why he's leaving Charlottesville. Here we go. Dr. Richardson rejects a suggestion that he had a bad relationship with Charlottesville City Council. Dr. Richardson says this, and I quote, this is a quote. Keep it on screen, please, Sir Judah Wickhauer. I worked well with Wes Bellamy. I worked well with Kathy Galvin. I worked well with Mike Signer. I worked well with Cena McGill. I worked well with Lloyd Snook. I worked well with Michael Payne, period, end quote. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners of this program, he mentions Wes Bellamy by name, Kathy Galvin by name, Mike Signer by name, Cena McGill by name, Lloyd Snook by name, and Michael Payne by name. Who does the outgoing city manager not reference in this very powerful quote, boys and girls? Two people. One of them, the mayor of Charlottesville, Nikuyah Walker. The other, Councilor Heather Hill, who was the vice mayor and now is a councilor. I don't want to assume, but from watching her term over the last 4 years, there's not a chance in HE double hockey sticks that Heather Hill is going to run for council again in November 2021. However, it's important to note, and I need to emphasize this, Mayor Nikuyah Walker has already gone on record saying she will run for re-election in November of 2021, which is approaching very, very, very fast. So the city manager says, and remember, the city manager is the chief executive officer of the city of Charlottesville. However, he reports to the board of directors. And that board of directors, boys and girls, is Charlottesville City Council. And of those 5 people, he straight up said he did not work well with 2 of the 5. And I'm going to emphasize this again on this program. Where there's smoke, there is fire. Put the pool quote up again, Judah. Where there's smoke and there's fire. We routinely, in city council meetings, we routinely hear from staff at City Hall, from outgoing city managers, from executives at the city, from former police chiefs at the city, that they're having difficulty getting along with the mayor of our fine, fantastic, phenomenal city that we love so much. And when one person, and then another person, and then a third person, and then a fourth person, and then folks from her camp that supported her during her campaign and now are working actively against her, and that is Tanisha Hudson. When they are actively saying we cannot have a working relationship with the mayor of Charlottesville, we as citizens, we as Central Virginians must be concerned. I will leave it at that on the I Love CVille show. I will head to another topic because time is valuable. But please hear and understand what is transpiring in this beautiful community, this beautiful city. And anyone that says this, I will not support Charlottesville because of who is in office there, I say you are bananas. Because Fluvanna and Orange and Louisa and Greene and Nelson and Albemarle County and Crozet, Zion's Crossroads, you name it, they go as Charlottesville goes. Charlottesville impacts every municipality in Central Virginia. Please understand what is happening here. Our next headline, and put your comments in the comment section if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, if you have something to add. Please put your comments in the comment section. Now, before I get to secret audio recordings in City Hall, a 007 CIA story of epic proportions that involved a fire chief and a city manager and secret recordings of conversations that were then turned over to the daily newspaper. Before I get to those, I have something that I want to relay to you. I was contacted by Maurice Jones's wife. Maurice Jones, the former city manager. It went what? Mo Jones, interim Mike Murphy, Dr. Richardson, whose tenure is up on September 30th, now John Blair, who starts on October 1, the former city attorney, and now council, it looks like, is going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money, and that not only includes the compensation for the consulting firm to help with the hire, but the opportunity cost spent by these counselors and us as citizens watching these meetings transpire in a public setting, basically wasting our most valuable commodity, our time. I will get to that story, the secret audio recordings. I will get to that story. Who should we hire as city manager? Should the city manager live in Charlottesville, Virginia? I will get to the story of the Albemarle County Fire Department getting $1.9 million in grant money. I will get to the story of Clemons Library closing because of students not wearing masks. And I will get to the hypocrisy that is the University of Virginia telling students it cannot leave Charlottesville because of COVID. Students cannot welcome students from other colleges to Charlottesville because of COVID, except for a football team that can get in on a bus, travel with its coaches to other schools, tackle, breathe, bleed, sweat on other people from other cities because they make the school tens of millions of dollars. We will get to that. But before we do, all those that are listening, I have some information for you. I heard from Michelle Jones yesterday at 1:30 p.m. via email. And Maurice, the former city manager, Maurice, the one-time NBC 29 sportscaster, he and his friends watch this show. He is the city manager in Chapel Hill. And Michelle, Maurice's wife, said this to me. Jerry, my husband Maurice is no longer receiving compensation from the city of Charlottesville. Please let everybody know this. He is not receiving compensation as an exit compensation package for his time in this community. I want to thank Michelle Jones for offering me that perspective. Thank you for emailing this. I'll set the record straight. Based on that information from Michelle Jones, who's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, we now know that Mike Murphy, Dr. Richardson, and John Blair, 1, 2, 3 city managers, will be on city taxpayer dollars through the month of October. It's not 4, it's 1, 2, 3. Still, in my book, that's too many. Now, our next story, and then any other story, any other show, this story would be the lead, my friends. Give the show a like and a share. Give it a like and a share. Let us know what you're thinking. Carol Thorpe, I'll get to your comments. Chris and Crozea will get to your comments. Tim, who's watching on Little Graves in Belmont, I will get to your comments. Scott Morris, thank you for watching the program. We love you, Scott Morris. Barbara Lundgren, thank you. Thank you for sharing the show. Kenny Gilbert, Ashley Cordes, thank you. Here is the nitty-gritty. Put it on screen. Put it on screen. Put it on screen. The city manager and the former fire chief, Andrew Baxter, they had some major squabbles and some major loggerheads and some major toe-to-toe beef. And that was about money from the Charlottesville city budget, which the city manager controls. The police chief reports to the city manager. The city manager is the fire chief, excuse me. The fire chief reports to the city manager. The city manager is the fire chief's boss, clear as day. The fire chief asked and asked and asked and asked. We need more money for firefighters. We're working overtime. We're burning the midnight oil. We cannot continue in these work settings. We had firefighters clad in yellow shirts come to city council meetings to show their solidarity, their power in numbers. We had Baxter campaign through the media. We had the Greg Wright, who is in charge of the Firefighters Association, on this very show, asking for money. Dr. Richardson said, our budget is strapped. You will get no more from us. They went toe-to-toe, 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 toe-to-toe. Dr. Richardson lambasted Greg Wright, called him names and emails that were then procured by the media. Now we know more. The fire chief, Andrew Baxter, in his dealings with Dr. Richardson, as Andrew Baxter wanted to add firefighters to his department, he began recording the conversations multiple times. He then took these recorded conversations that he had with his boss, and he brought those recorded conversations to the daily newspaper, to a reporter named Nolan Stout, who is a bulldog of a reporter. And today, in the newspaper, we have the retired fire chief, Andrew Baxter, straight up in quotes, saying, Dr. Richardson is lying. He never once had a conversation with me about phasing in firefighters. That's a complete fabrication. He's lying. I encourage you, when this show is over, to go either to ilovecville.com, my Facebook page, the I Love CVille Facebook page, the many Facebook pages that carry this story, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, a daily e-newsletter. We reach more people than any media outlet in this town. And I encourage you to reach and read the link that is titled Grant Funding Paves Way for City to Hire 15 Firefighters but Opens Old Wounds. Because you will read a story that is a script from The Young and the Restless. All I need is Victor Newman. All I need is Jack and the beautiful cricket to make an appearance. Heck, let's get Pierce Brosnan to play Andrew Baxter and Denzel Washington to play Dr. Richardson. And this would be a silver screen flick of epic proportions that would drive box office sales through the roof. Secret recordings. Firefighters showing up in numbers to city council meetings wearing yellow shirts. A back and forth, name calling, fabrication, lying. I can't make this up. Ay, mi madre, ¿qué pasa in Charlottesville, Virginia? Mis amigos. I have so much information to get on today's show. And I have a wonderful businesswoman in Tiffany Smith that I cannot make wait any longer. So all the headlines you see on screen, who should be Charlottesville's next hire for city manager? Should the city manager be a current resident? Albemarle County Fire Department getting $1.9 million in grant money. Clemons Library closing because students are not wearing masks like they're supposed to. Carytown losing restaurants left and right. What are we going to do about Halloween and COVID? Olive Garden sales are down 94% at its Times Square location. A huge weekend for college football. The Washington football team travels to 7-point favorite Cleveland Browns on Sunday. And folks, the hypocrisy that is students at UVA unable because of an edict or law issued by Jim Ryan with the risk or fear or leverage of suspension if you don't follow suit, saying you can't leave Charlottesville to visit your friends. Your friends can't visit Charlottesville from other schools, except these football players who make us money. All those stories upcoming on the I Love CVille show after we get to Tiffany Smith. I'm so excited to welcome this talented retailista, an amazing woman, a Renaissance woman, someone who is dynamic, someone who is beautiful, someone who has a way with words. Tiffany, if you can activate that camera for us so we can see your beautiful face, so we can see what you're wearing. If you tap the screen, there could be a camera button where you can turn. Okay, there we go. There's our friend. She's in our spot where we go to for holiday shopping at Barracks Road Shopping Center. She is wonderful. Tiffany Smith, you're live for a lot of people. How are you, Tiffany Smith?
Good. How are you doing, homie? I haven't seen you in a while.
I'm doing well.
I miss you.
I miss you too. The last time we saw you, it was you and two of your colleagues from Live Arts.
Mm-hmm. About
a year ago, we had a little vodka. We told some tall tales. We did some singing. We talked about a play that we were in. It was absolutely beautiful. But today, this is all about you and the Virginia shop and a 30-year anniversary that is around the corner. The show is yours. Tell us what's happening.
Okay, so the Virginia shop turns 30 next month. Oh my gosh. I've been planning this I've owned the store for almost a decade. And Jerry Miller, I just want to say, I was thinking about it this morning. The first time you walked in, like bushy-tailed and bright-eyed, to my store was about 8 years ago.
Really?
And it was so adorable. And you're like, I want to interview you. I want to support Charlottesville business. And so I just was thinking about that. It's been almost 8 years since we've known each other. So congrats, my friend. Thank you so much for all the support that you do for the community. Okay, so back to the Virginia shop. Yeah, so we are celebrating 30 years next month, which is a wonderful celebration anniversary. I've been thinking about it for a couple years. And then, boom, pandemic. So I can't have the big parties that I was expecting to have, and all the frenzy of tasting and wine celebration, and having a bunch of people come together and come to the store, or even have something outdoors at a local winery that we can really celebrate for, having 30 years as a small business here. We're trying to figure out a new way to celebrate and thank everybody for contributing to the Virginia shop for this long. So myself and Barracks Road are launching a giveaway gift basket program every single day next month for 30 days.
Whoa!
We're giving away a $50 gift basket. Right. But you have to nominate who you think deserves it.
Okay. So
it's not for, you can't be like, oh, I get it. It's for somebody that you think has been a real hero or heroine during this pandemic. The teachers, people on the front lines, people, that just make your day. The person bagging your groceries when you actually get out of your house and go to the grocery store, we are giving them a $50 gift basket. I have details yet to be posted. So we sorted this out yesterday. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to get submissions and stuff. But when we do, check in at Barracks Road on their social medias and on my social medias. And we're going to, knock it out and give away what we like to call quarantine care packages for 30 days in honor of the Virginia shop. Give thanks to the community.
You know what I love about you? One of the many things, I love your innovation. I love your willingness to try different things. I love the fact that you hustle and you grind and you're just a overall rock star. When you were the word, and it's almost become cliche now in COVID, the word is pivot. What kind of pivots have we seen here from the Virginia shop?
So, you know what? I have to say that we've had our online store in place since 2011. We locally deliver since I took over in 2011. A lot of the stuff that we're doing now has been in place, but not in so much of a high demand. So we've had all these things in place, not that we were anticipating a pandemic or anticipating that people would have to take advantage of them. We love people coming into our store and that we have my customers are my family, but now we just had it in place where we're able to ship nationwide always. We're able to locally deliver for free. We're able to do curbside pickup. And it's always been a thing, but it's now the pivot has been, trying to get everything online and get everything so that customers that know what they are shopping. So it's different. So you can't browse, So figuring out how to browse, that's the next challenge. You can't come in, or you can come in, but not everybody wants to come in. So if you can't come in and browse, we got to figure out ways to let you see the merchandise we have available. Of course, we have our staples, all of our peanuts, all of our wine, our cheese straws, all those fun things. But we also have great gift lines and merchandise that are very Charlottesville and Virginia oriented that you just don't know about because it's something that you would browse for in the store. So that's the challenge. That's how we're pivoting, is trying to get people to understand all of the SKUs and all of the inventory that we do have in the shop that is appropriate. We lost graduation. Man, that was huge.
Right.
We were 70% down in May. Huge. That's our third biggest month of the year. And oh my gosh, some other small business owners and stuff, I can't imagine. They couldn't even stay open. We were open the whole time, but it was just very difficult to manage that. And everybody's really suffering from that loss this year in 2020. But yeah, that's the big pivot, is making sure that people understand our inventory.
So when I hype retailistas and people that are just rock stars in retail, I hype 3 business women. I hype Patty Zeller at Animal Connection. I hype Monique at the Happy Cook. And I hype
She's awesome.
Tiffany Smith at the Virginia Shop. Those are the 3 I constantly bring up. So I asked this question to everyone that's on the show. I remember in March, as a business person myself, feeling so low and down and downtrodden and almost depressed, and really how the heck are we going to survive and get through this? So as we champion your success and as we champion your 30-year anniversary, can we first try to characterize or put into perspective the vulnerability you were feeling in March and early April?
So yes, I was very downtrodden and very upset and depressed. But I kept the store open and I was there. For some reason, I thrive a little bit on chaos. I have a little bit of that sort of edgy take to my personality and my drive. And so I was just like, let's do it. Let's build the baskets. Let's get the quarantine care package out. Let's promote the store. We're here for them. The governor has not shut us down. So we are open 24/7. So that was kind of my take. And it was a lot of adrenaline. And then at the end of the day, I was, of course, extremely scared and sad. And, we still could be headed towards, God forbid, an economic depression. But I think that, as long as we have all the parts that keep small business alive, which is our landlords, our consumer, our merchant, our vendors, and us as merchants, as long as we can all kind of work together and understand that this is a trying time and trust one another and really promote each other, I think that we're going to thread the needle. So that's all I can focus on. And that's the thing that's got me through. But yes, I was very down, of course. But yeah.
You have this energy about you, and I think anyone that comes up across your path will feel the energy, will gravitate to your energy circle. It's positive, it's leadership, it's a can-do, get stuff done attitude. Put into perspective how you went from that, oh my gosh, until using that adrenaline, I've got this, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to utilize the internet, I'm going to utilize social media more than ever. And I've also seen the community really rally around you as well, Tiffany.
Thank you. So you're asking about the path that I took, there was that moment where I was...
Yeah, where you were like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah, so when they when it's like, no. And so I'll never forget. There's 2 days I won't forget about this year. The day that all the big box stores shut down, especially my neighbors, my great neighbors, Banana Republic, came in and they bought, some peanuts and some beer, and they were like, we're not coming back for at least 2 weeks. And they didn't come back for a few months. And all those guys shut down, and there were maybe 5 or 6 of us that stayed open here at Barracks Road. It was really kind of a creepy time. That day was really wild. And then the day that I drove into the parking lot to open the shop, and I saw Banana Republic's lights on, and I was like, oh my God, they're back. And that was phase 2. And I started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get through this. But there was 8 weeks in between that, but the fact that I was never told you have to close, so I would not. People are always like, oh, what happens if I've owned the store for a while, and I've gone through some funny things that people are like, oh, 2012 and all these, Armageddon theories, and like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, it'll be me and my shop, a bottle of wine, a can of peanuts, and my dog, and we're just going to ride it through. So it's just kind of, my shop is, my family. So yeah, there was just never a question, unless the governor was like, you absolutely cannot open the store. I was going to always be here every morning.
I love that answer. I see the emotion and the vulnerability, and I think everyone that's watching can tell how much this brand and this business means to you. I mean, your friends, your family, human connection. Can you put that in perspective, what the Virginia shop means to you?
Yeah, well, I banked on the Virginia shop a long time ago, and I just knew that it was the thing to really dedicate my life toward. And yes, I'm happily partnered, and I have my fur babies, and I have a great family, but the Virginia shop is definitely my life's dream and project that's come to fruition. And I'm not going to let, it's going to take a lot to tear us down. So yeah, I've got that fighting spirit about it. And because I think there is a lot of community value in what we do. We support local vendors. We support local families. We give to charities all over the community. And I have always thought that was tremendously valuable, and something that cannot be, like, Amazon can't steal that. Big box stores can't steal that kind of value and that kind of product. So early on, I was like, oh, if I'm going to really get into this retail business, this is one I would want to do it. I would want to do it with. This is my child, my family, my partner, in business life. So yeah, I've just treated it like that. Like it's a huge part of my relationship. It's a relationship that's just tremendously valuable and a part of my life.
Virginia shop, guys, the Virginia shop does a phenomenal job of offering a platform to so many small family businesses that we otherwise would not know about. And she has this fabulous store where she welcomes these small family businesses and says, here's their story. And this is why I think their story would make a phenomenal gift for your graduation, your birthday party, your anniversary, your Christmas gift. And she does it better than just about everybody. I mean, like I said, it's 3 brands from a retail standpoint. We really say these are the ones that are doing it right. And she's done the POP, the proof of performance. We have questions coming in for you. One of the questions that's coming in is, has the landlord been good to you? Because you're one of the main reasons that we go to Barracks Road Shopping Center.
That was the biggest concern. So my overhead, the PPP loan is very costly. Originally, it was intended for payroll. I don't have, my overhead is not a lot of payroll. My overhead is rent. So that was the big concern about finding forgiveness / abatement / whatever we could do. And I have to say, federal has been amazing to us. And they're so forgiving, and they are really helping us out. And that's the only reason that a lot of us are still here today, is because our landlord, Federal Realty, and trust me, we've had our squabbles in the past. Like, not like kissing butt here, but they really just saw the value of tenants like myself and came to bat for us and really helped us out through all this, and continue to. And we're still negotiating. We're still going through. We don't know what's going to happen the next few years. So we just don't know. But they do see value in tenants like myself. And I'm very, very happy to report that the only reason I am still here is because they've been forgiving in a way toward my biggest overhead, which is rent, because of this great location that I have.
Right. Best location out there. And and I want to relay this message to the federal team as well. I hope Federal Realty, I hope to God, sees the tremendous value of the Virginia Shop, of the Happy Cook, of these locally owned businesses, because if they do not, they risk Barracks going the way of Stonefield. That was only big box brands that had no ties to this community. People go to Barracks Road for the Virginia Shop and for the Happy Cook. We are a local first community. You have a hell of a lot of people watching. Nathan West and the Mad Hatter guys are giving you props. Liz Farmer's giving you props. Linda Brown. She needs an order, Nathan West.
Instagram, Mad Hatter. I need an order.
Let's see if we can get a deal right now on the I Love CVille show. She needs an order. Liz Farmer, Linda Bowen is giving you props. Chris Olivia's giving you props. Bevan Bozavart's giving you props. I mean, I could continue and continue and continue. All right, let's throw this to you here. A message. We're a platform of hope, Tiffany. We're cautious optimists, but when it comes down to it, as entrepreneurs, which we both are, we have to be hopeful, because it is brutal at times for what we do. You got a lot of people watching you. Anywhere you want to go on a final word, on a message of maybe hope and positivity on what's been a year for so many of us that we want to forget, and we certainly want to hope to get to 2021. And Tiffany, I don't know about you, but I want 2021 to be gangbusters and beautiful and wonderful and positive and just driven with momentum. Anywhere you want to go.
I think the important thing is that there's so much, everybody's just so divided in this country, politically, socially, economically. It's really horrible. We all have to have much more patience, no matter what happens with this president. That as a business owner, I always know, like, I've been through 3 of them, and it's like, oh, so tumultuous, so tumultuous. This is the most obviously tumultuous yet. So we just, no matter what happens, we have to know that, like, and we can't just completely fall apart. We've just to stay strong and continue doing what we're doing. And so that's a huge thing that I keep telling myself as I'm like, oh my God, what if this doesn't go my way? What if this doesn't go my way, or our way, or whatever way we want it to go? And it's like, okay, it's American politics, and we have checks and balances, hopefully, and we're going to figure it out. We're Americans, we're United Statesians, as I like to say, and we're just going to get through it. And I think that if we kind of stop hardcore on this, and we're all voting the way we're going to vote, and on this, like, inevitable train we're on, and just support one another and love each other, and just try to find the positivity in all of it and get through it. That would be great. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic, because I just see that we've gone through so much the last 4 years, and hopefully we can, thread, once again, saying thread the needle. That seems to be my imagery for 2020 and beyond, is just thread the needle and keep going.
How do we get involved?
Yeah.
How can we get involved and support the Virginia Shop with your 30-year anniversary upcoming?
Okay, so important things are to follow us on Instagram, The Virginia Shop, and on Facebook, The VA Shop. And follow Barracks Road. Barracks Road is going to do a lot of that. They are initiating the entering of the gift baskets. So when you guys are like, oh my gosh, my teacher deserves one of these gift baskets, then you can enter their name. And every single day in October, we're giving away a $50 gift basket. So there's so many win. So yeah, that's the important thing, is just follow us on social media and follow us on, that's basically it. Or call the shop, 434-977-0080. I'm here almost every day. And I have employees here that are awesome and believe in the shop just as much as I do, that are happy to help you. Or you could even visit our website, which is thevashop.net. And as soon as Nathan West gets me some Mad Hatter, I will have that on the site again. Nathan West. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just so excited to talk to you, Jerry. And thank you so much for this opportunity to see you. And I'm so proud of everything said. It was so wild. Like 8 years ago, you were just a young whippersnapper coming into my store. Like, can I put you on camera? And I'm like, hell yeah. And you did. Here you are. Yeah, you're just like an icon of the community. So,
you are
thanks.
A+ people. Thank you for your time. I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out again. I will see you at Christmas for sure. We'll get involved with the 30-year anniversary. All the best, Tiffany.
Thanks.
You have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Tiffany Smith is amazing, guys. Please support her. Support this 30-year anniversary they have going on. Follow them on social. Let's keep the businesses we love going forward, please. I mean, can you see her passion? It was like coming through the Mac and like pulling me in. I love her energy. Give the show a like and a share on Facebook. If you're watching on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, just spread the word. Spread the word of good news that we're trying to relay to everybody. A couple of headlines I want to get to. Judah Wickower, I'm going to ask this question. We're in a budget deficit in not only Charlottesville, but Albemarle County. I'm going to ask this question of council. Should we be spending significant time, significant money through a national hiring firm to find the next city manager? The last national hiring firm found Dr. Richardson from Texas. And I'm not going to point fingers or pick sides. His tenure lasted roughly 16 months in Charlottesville. Should we, instead of hiring a national hiring firm and spending thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, and even more importantly, the opportunity cost, that is the time of 5 counselors determining where we're going as a city, should we instead look internally within Charlottesville City and potentially hire a city manager that's already here in Charlottesville? We had an interview with a guy by the name of Dave Norris. Dave is a guy that's got a lot of experience and understands the nuances inside and outside City Hall. Former mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia. Dave Norris, now an advocate for affordable housing throughout the community. Dave Norris helped negotiate a peace treaty when the Charlottesville parking wars, which featured multimillionaire Mark Brown against the city of Charlottesville. Dave Norris helped negotiate that peace treaty. He's someone to consider. Dave Norris on our show actively said, I have a person that I will not name on our show that would be perfect for the city manager position. I very much encourage our 5 counselors and Mayor Walker, Vice Mayor Sina McGill, Councilors Snook, Councilors Payne and Hill, to please shorten the hiring window for a city manager. Forget the burden that you're going to put on taxpayers of spending our dollars that we're allocating to you through our hard work and our spending. And instead, look within the community for someone who understands Charlottesville. Okay? Because someone perhaps from Texas, where Dr. Richardson was from Texas, someone from outside the community may not understand the nuances and the storylines here in Charlottesville. Just a thought. Albemarle County Fire Department, Judah, if you can get that on screen, they got a lot of grant money. And by a lot of grant money, I mean $1.9 million. $1.9 million they can use for funding and staffing, $1.9 million that they can use for keeping this community a safer place for all of us. There's nothing I like more than our fire, our rescue, our police, the people that take care of us, having the resources they have at their disposal to maintain the safety of our family, our friends, your friends, our children. So $1.9 million goes a long way. I'm very excited about that. UVA Library is closed briefly, and that's Clemons Library. That's the second time in 4 days. Look at the screen. The second time in 4 days, Clemons Library is closed due to students not wearing masks at the percentage they should be wearing masks. The level of face mask compliance was 87% the first time they closed, and 91% this past time where they announced the closing for 2 hours on Wednesday. They close in 2-hour blocks if people are not wearing masks. President Ryan has asked everybody to be 100% compliant. So far, the students are not following suit. As a result, Clemons Library closes briefly for 2 hours to set a message. I'm going to ask everybody that's watching the show to please help me with this question. How will we enjoy trick-or-treating and Halloween with our friends and family in this Charlottesville and Central Virginia COVID-19 landscape? How will we do it? Are we going to do a scavenger hunt on tennis courts where we hide candies almost like an Easter egg hunt? Are we going to do a scavenger hunt where our little boy has a piece of paper and he's told to find one jack-o'-lantern that's carved, a spider web on a bush, a blow-up Frankenstein, a blow-up ghost, and we walk around the neighborhood with a checklist doing a scavenger hunt, and mom and dad return reward tray with a Snicker bar or a Reese's cup. I love the Reese's cups. I love the Snicker bars. Every time we see a spider on a bush, you know, those spider web decorations, or anytime we see a jack-o'-lantern with a candle inside. How are we going to do it safely? Because the last thing I want as a young dad, the last thing I want as a husband, the last thing I want as an ambassador and champion of this community is for us not to enjoy at least a brief respite of COVID. And Halloween can offer that for us. How are we going to enjoy it? Put your thoughts in the comment section. If you have ideas, this community is open mind. One of my buddies has come up with a creative concept. He has a mail slot on his front door, and he has a call to action sign on his front door that says, "You can still get candy safely from us." And he has set up a tube, a clear tube, and this clear tube fits in the mail slot. And this clear tube runs down the banister stairs, and those banister stairs lead to the front door. And dad and mom, they're empty nesters, their kids have since moved on, are going to sit atop the landing where they can see the trick-or-treaters through the windows above the door. And when the trick-or-treaters ring their bell, if they're allowed or they choose to do it, they will slide in that clear plastic tube that's tied to the banister that runs into the mail slot and out the door, one Snicker bar, a Reese's. And that's how they're going to manage Halloween. So I'm open to your innovation and your creative ideas. The last thing I want to do is see this brief respite or an escape from everyday COVID life fall by the wayside. The next headline, Judah Wickower, that we need a get on screen comes from a national and macro headline, and it comes from Times Square in Olive Garden. You know, it's impacted so many business, weddings, events, music, restaurant, and retail more than most. How about the Olive Garden in Times Square? It's down 94% from a sales standpoint. 94%. The Times Square location in the Big Apple was the chain's best performing restaurant. Today, it is losing. This number is startling. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? The Olive Garden in Times Square is losing $300,000 in sales per week. $300K per week. Good night. Good night. How about the UVA travel restrictions that Jim Ryan imposed? we played that sound, that video from the president's office and Jim Ryan. He said, students, first, second, third, and fourth years, you are no longer allowed to travel outside of Charlottesville and visit your friends at other schools. Furthermore, first years, second years, third years, and fourth years, you are no longer allowed to welcome students from other schools to Charlottesville, even your off-grounds apartment. I said, you know what? That's fine. He's trying to mitigate the risk of COVID. Then immediately I got to thinking about the football team. Why is the football team allowed to get in a bus on a tin can in the sky? Why is the football team, its support staff, and its coaches allowed to get in a bus on a tin can in the sky and visit other colleges and tackle students at other colleges, breathe, sweat, and bleed on students from other colleges when Jim Ryan has said students are not allowed to leave school? There's one word and one word only that can answer that why. And that one word, money. Money. It's because of money. Think about it today, okay? Our next headline on the I Love CVille show comes from a big-time weekend in college football, and I'm talking a huge weekend. You know I love sports. I started my career as a sports writer at UVA, 12 affiliate Jerry Miller show stations, and sports broadcasting across 3 states, 2 TV shows. Sports is in my blood. We have a big-time weekend for college football. We got number 23 Kentucky at number 8 Auburn, number 24 Louisville of the ACC at number 21 Pittsburgh. Of course, we have the Duke Blue Devils at our University of Virginia football team with the Wahoos, a 5-point favorite. That game kicks off at 4 o'clock on the ACC network. How about boys and girls? Florida State at Miami. The Hurricanes 12 in the nation on national TV, a 7:30 kickoff. And of course, the Wolfpack of Virginia Tech are visiting Virginia. The Wolfpack of NC State are visiting the Virginia Tech Hokies in Blacksburg. An 8 p.m. kickoff on the ACC network right after the UVA game. Schools traveling to other schools all over the country, while students are restricted to their dorms and unable to see their friends. The next headline, boys and girls, the Washington football team travels to Cleveland, where Dwayne Haskins is showing a glimmer that he could be our franchise quarterback. Cleveland, a 7-point favorite. 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox. J-Dubs, let's show them how they can save $288 on Ting Fiber Internet. It is the best internet in Central Virginia. We are offering you a gateway link where you can save $288. It is the best price of Ting you can get only through this link, ilovecville.ting.com. ilovecville.ting.com. We're going to give some love to Scott Wagner in a matter of moments. Before we do, now is your opportunity to share your comments, your thoughts, and your perspective in the comment section. Give the show a like and a share. Put your comments in the comment section, and we will relay them on air. All of them. Scott Wagner, Judah, Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, changing people's lives through sports medicine, physical therapy, and chiropractic care. Who's got your back? Who's got your back? Who's got your back? Dr. Wagner. Dr. Wagner. Dr. Wagner. Dr. Wagner has your back. Comments. We're going to get to them now. Judah Wickhauer. Ike Allen says this to Tiffany Smith. Holly Allen says hello. Barbara Lundgren says to Tiffany Smith, Tiffany rocks. Sue Martin says this. Thank you, Sue, for leaving a comment. It is so important for everyone to work together well. It is obvious there are many who do not see eye to eye with our mayor. It would be in her best interest not to run for city council again. It is important for our city not to be continuously in an uproar. It certainly sheds a bad light on our lovely city. Sue Martin, I am begging Nikuyah Walker not to run for re-election. Mayor Walker, please go on a one-shot for me, Judah, please. Mayor Walker, please do not run for re-election again. You talk terribly about our city in the New York Times. You have the city manager sprinting for the door, multiple city councilors unwilling or unable or afraid to get along with you. Please do not run again. Sue Martin says, fantastic show today with some fantastic topics. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue, for those kind words. Linda Bowen, I love the Virginia shop. I hope you're here for a long, long time. I love your ideas, Tiffany Smith, from Linda Bowen. Thank you for sharing your perspective, Linda Bowen. Thank you for watching the show, Linda Bowen. We're truly grateful for your patronage and support. Laura Smith is watching. Jerry, I watch this program every single day. You are my source of news. Keep up the good work. Keep holding people accountable. Keep shining a positive light on the people who need positivity in their life. We appreciate you more than you know. Hold your head high. Thank you. Scott Aaronworth. He asked two very important questions. The Esquire from Virginia Beach. Jerry, are students allowed to go home for a funeral? Are the students allowed to have their parents visit them in town? I don't have the exact answer for the funeral. I do know that the parents cannot visit as of now. Jennifer Kraling. Jerry, your leadership shines on this show every single day. Please consider getting civically engaged. I don't always agree with you, but I appreciate the passion you have for this community and your willingness to lead through tough times. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I love you guys. This is the I Love CVille show. My name is Jerry Miller. Remember, we have the I Love CVille Daily Digest, all your news in 5 minutes or less at 5 o'clock, 5 days a week. And don't miss Real Talk tomorrow. It's going to be a special one. Real Talk with Keith Smith, the distinguished gentleman. My name is Jerry Miller. This is a show I love to host. It's the I Love CVille show. Our mission is to feature the best of Charlottesville, Virginia.